Welcome to the Cisco Networking Academy session. Originally, my marketing department had put Articulation in the title. We are a multiple pathways program, so we are making students both college and career ready. That's just part of what we do. Because of the emphasis on employment and helping existing academy students get hands-on experience and other things they need to do to be successful in the workplace and even assist with entry-level jobs, I kind of changed the title around. The content of the presentation didn't change, but I want to concentrate today on talking about how the Cisco Networking Academy and things that students do inside the classroom and outside the classroom really enable an ICT career pathway solution. And that's kind of what this conference is all about. It ties in with what the Robert Half Training Director talked about this morning. And so with that, in terms of getting a sense of the audience that's here, who is currently familiar with the basics of the Cisco Networking program? Can I see hands? Okay. Can I see hands of those that don't know anything about it, that are here for informational purposes? Okay. So I'm going to concentrate on the core elements of the program as kind of a lead-in to the employment piece that I want to talk about, let you understand what the program is, what the curriculum looks like, and how the curriculum aligns to certification. And then that certification will kind of be the kickoff piece to employment. In other words, a student being able to validate their skills versus their peers and being successful out in the employment marketplace. Is that in tune with what everybody's expectations, and will that work for everybody? Okay, I'll take that as a yes. What I wanted to start off with was a quick video, and to do that, let me escape this and go up one.
Oh, it's right there on the desktop.
Oh, that's right. Let's just see if we can go to the internet here real quick. Okay. It's a little bit grainy.
My name is Marla.
How do we change the world?
If you were just to remove the technical content and you think about what students get out of this program: problem-solving skills, creative and critical thinking skills, communication skills.
My name is Bjerke.
We change the world by changing minds, opening them wide and filling them with knowledge of their own possibilities.
I love the kind of kid who goes to a technical program. Kids like that are intense thinkers. They can work off the right side, the left side, both sides at the same time. When you challenge them, they can produce the most amazing things that you can imagine.
My name is Articulation.
We change the world one heart at a time, opening it wide with dignity and purpose.
Reflection is also missed our lives. We underestimate the power of telling someone they've done something well. When they achieve a module of their learning in IT training, it may be the first time they've learned anything positive in their lives. And I think it inspires them to go on and do other things as well. My name is Cisco.
We change the world with collaboration at all levels of human endeavor to foster environments where people can succeed to the best of their abilities.
My name is Cisco.
There is not another program. Cisco Networking is where it's at.
I would not be here today if it wasn't for the best study housing group in the Cisco Networking Academy. There's no doubt about it.
My white coat.
And that's how you change the world.
Okay, let me get back to my slides real quickly. Okay, so I thought that the video gives a really good global perspective of the program. It's a public-private partnership model. We're in over 165 countries globally, and we serve 1 million students annually with a network of over 20,000 instructors. The cool thing about the program is the quality. It's the same a student in Israel or in North America or in Africa should all have the same experience in their own language, but the classroom experience and what they're prepared for in the workforce should all be very similar. With that said, and with kind of focusing on employment and using the Networking Academy as a foundation to provide those kind of skills, you can see what the opportunities are for IT or ICT here in the U.S. These are projections for the next 10 years in the U.S., and then these are projections for growth in these same computer tech areas in California. And in all instances except for two, California equals or exceeds what the national projections are. And then if you look to the far right, you can see over the next 10 years, all computer occupations are projected to grow 22% versus just careers in general by 14%. So as you heard again, and just reinforcing what Robert Half said this morning, IT is a great place to be. And unfortunately, a lot of it was because of the sucky economy we had a few years ago. We'll go ahead and build this out. But when you put that in perspective and you look at those 20 to 30% growth rates for some of those occupations within IT and look at what's actually happening out in the IT workforce, the number of virtual and physical servers is supposed to grow by 10 times over the next decade. The amount of information managed by the enterprise data centers containing those servers is expected to grow 50 times over the next 10 years. And the number of files that those data centers have to manage is going to grow at least 75 times. Meanwhile, the number of IT professionals in the world will grow by less than a factor of 1.5. So, real contrast here, and a real opportunity for Cisco Networking Academy students. So what we do is, as I mentioned previously, and as you probably saw in the video, we provide ICT skills to meet today's job demands, particularly in desktop support and computer networking. We follow the multiple pathways model, and so we're preparing people to continue with their post-secondary academic career if that's their goal. We're providing them with entry-level job skills, or we're also providing them with the opportunity to prepare to take industry certification exams. This just kind of reiterates what I already mentioned, but again, we're global in nature. We consider ourselves to be the world's largest classroom. This kind of reiterates the public-private partnership model, so I'll go ahead and skip to the next slide. And really what's crucial here is besides providing the technology skills, we're also providing the soft skills that students need to be successful in business. Business skills, interview skills, working in teams, critical thinking. And then as you can see over in the far right quadrant, it just kind of reemphasizes that we do follow that multiple pathways model, and we do have multiple outcomes for students depending on what their personal goals are. So since we're here in California, this slide shows the impact as of the end of the last academic year. And you can see California had 17,000, almost 18,000 unique active students at the end of the last academic year. And you can see in the U.S. that there was 151,000 total students. So there's a pretty significant impact. 330 instructors in the state of California versus 3,700 across the U.S. at the end of the year. And then since the inception of the program in the U.S., over 1 million students have been served. And so that keeps growing exponentially. And as I mentioned in February of last year, we hit 1 million students globally for the first time. So in terms of, I've kind of talked about this public-private partnership model. Cisco donates the curriculum to any nonprofit organization, and then we do have a program for career colleges where they can buy the curriculum if they want to be involved. So we provide the curriculum, we continuously update it, we provide a help desk with 24/7 support to instructors and even the students, and lots of other benefits. Within that model, the classroom or the community organization, the school, provides the students, the teachers, the classrooms, and access to the internet because the curriculum is web-based, it's hosted, it's accessible online. versus our older model where we asked instructors to download it onto a web server and serve it up locally. So we've moved now, we have lots of points around the world where it's being hosted, and so students and instructors can go in there and get it anytime. And again, just reiterating what the academy partnership with the school provides. I think the other thing to point out, and we can talk more about it maybe offline after the presentation if you have questions, but we have, one of our big benefits is the instructor professional development and the instructor community that's part of this program. We used to have a national conference every summer in San Jose for instructors to come in. This year we're moving to more of a regional conference model where instructors can participate in technical seminars, interact with their peers, share best practices. In addition, partners like Richard at Ohlone College and the Western Academy Support and Training Center that Karen is also part of provide quarterly instructor training schedules for new instructors, and I guess even instructors that might want to revamp on the new curriculum and learn what the deltas are, as well as online hosted meetings. So there's lots of benefits as an instructor to being involved with the program. Go ahead and build this one out. These are just some of the benefits and some of the ways that the curriculum is delivered. We have skills-based assessments that are delivered in the form of final exams, and I guess also throughout the course where students can use our packet tracer simulation tool to solve problems and even be part of the final exam. We use gaming. We have a game called Aspire, which allows students to test their entrepreneurial skills through some white papers that we have available or case studies where you see the entrepreneurial skills over there. They can come back and, in the form of a game, do things like open up an internet cafe, test the skills that they learned in the Passport 21 case studies, and even compete on the leaderboard with other students globally. Social media is huge. I think the Academy has over 400,000 student members, and a huge percentage of instructors are also members. Simulation-based learning was the packet tracer tool I mentioned where they can conduct the skills-based assessments. It's a learning tool. It's getting pretty robust. I mean, instructors can create their own custom assessments and put teams of students competing against each other if that's their desire. So it allows students to work individually or in teams, and it provides a good learning environment when you're not on classroom lab gear. Gonna move it along to get to where I want to be. Again, the curriculum is online, so there's a screenshot of what you might see in the course. Lots of media activities and exercises in each of the courses besides the final exams. And there's the quizzes at the end of each chapter as well. Hands-on labs I talked about. So to be part of the program, one of the requirements is, for the CCNA course, for example, is to have classroom lab gear so students can get that hands-on experience, particularly in the first course. And really all it is 3 routers, 3 switches, and a couple of wireless routers. And that serves 6 to 8 students optimally, so a large class you might want to have a couple of those lab bundles. Talked about the skills-based assessments. That's an innovative part of our program. Richard, do you want to say anything else about the assessments? You teach this stuff day in and day out.
We do, and the curriculum it's the curriculum. It's a teacher's best friend, really. It provides us with assessments. We use them for practice purposes. Students they check their assessments that way. And then a final exam and midterm exams are provided as well, proctored in more traditional fashion. So assessments are great. I mean, not having to spend time as a teacher developing test questions is a big time saver. I'm sure some of you know that. So, and they really frequently they test them many times, and because, as John said, there are a million students that are taking these exams. They're gathering all kinds of information. They know what's a good question, what's not a good question, very quickly. So it's great.
No, it's helpful information. This is a busy slide, and it's gotten busier because we just updated our CCNA curriculum, and some of the certifications recently changed. And the next slide will be, I think, a little simpler, provide more clarity. But this is a snapshot of what our curriculum looks like for those of you that aren't familiar with our program. And really, the areas to pay attention here to here are some of these key forms, as I would call them. So our our courses are linked to industry certification. In the case of our entry-level course, IT Essentials maps to the A+ exam, and we're always in sync with CompTIA, updating our course as that exam changes. And we have a very strong partnership directly with CompTIA. So when you have A+ instructors at your school that are out there and maybe they're teaching out of the textbook, they can certainly move to IT Essentials, have the online curriculum, and still be offering the same skill set to their students to pass the A+ exam. So this is, all of our courses are based on the 70-hour semester system when they're developed, so I'll put that out there. In the case of IT Essentials, it's only one course, so it's a single course. We have changed our CCNA courses. CCNA used to be a set of 4 courses. You can still view it that way, but what we've done from a certification standpoint is we've taken the first 2 courses and we have kept them aligned to an entry-level certification. You'll see it on the next slide, which is called CCNT. Keep it real simple and not overload with information. But we had that set up previously, but then within the construct of the CCNA courses, a student could continue to courses 3 and 4, and then they could finish up the total CCNA exam. What's happened now is CCNA 1 and 2, the 2 courses that you see up here, are kind of the foundation for the more advanced CCNA topics. And what I mean by that is you can take the CCNA 1 and 2 at a school like Ohlone College, and then you could, theoretically transfer to Cal State, Los Angeles, and take 3 and 4 and get a more advanced certification upon transfer. And so what happens is the student takes the first 2 CCNA courses, and then what happens after that is they can choose one of 4 CCNA specialty certifications or advanced technology certifications. And we've asked to, I guess, 2 of the 4. And so CCNA routing and switching, the 3 and 4 course, is now a standalone advanced certification. CCNA security is an advanced certification. And then there's 2 other advanced certs that we don't have specific courses within the curriculum for, but a lot of community colleges develop on their own, and that's CCNA Voice and CCNA Wireless. We got that pretty straight in there. Health information networking is another topic that we make the content available to instructors who have experience teaching all 4 CCNA courses. It's overlay content. It does not map to a certification exam. But as you know, health informatics, health information technology are big programs now at a lot of community colleges around the country. And then I'll just finish up by saying we also have CCNP, which is 3 courses. The difference with CCNP is that instead of posting that content online like we do with everything else, CCNP is taught out of the Cisco Press textbooks. However, the CCNP skills-based assessments and final exams and gradebooks for the instructors still take place online in our portal, which is the NetSpace learning management system that we use. So I'm going to pause for a minute because I put a lot of information out there for you that are new. Are there questions before I continue? Because I want to get to the employment piece now. Sure.
Sure. Do students have options to have like an electronic portfolio through this process so they can have a resume or so?
There's
nothing built in. On the learning portal, NetSpace is built off of Blackboard type Canvas, so there's an opportunity there.
That's right.
But many students belong to this.
You mentioned it's called the 70 unit.
Oh, the 70 hour.
Now, because I'm somewhat familiar with some of this, I know that there's lab as well, which typically takes more time than the traditional lecture. So those units, are those hours that you mentioned like lecture time, or does that include the lab?
First of all, it's suggested. I'll let Richard better address that. But
it's half and half. So our courses at the college are built as lecture lab. It's usually the same amount of time lab as it. 3 hours lecture, 3 hours lab a week, for example. It's a typical course. works pretty similar.
So someone,
More than 7, yeah.
can you give me a rough estimate of what would it take for someone to go through the majority of this curriculum in this construct of half and half?
Well, there's different exit points, and I'll talk a little bit about that later on, but you know, it depends on what they want to finish up and do afterwards. But at our school, we take students all the way through CCNP training. We're a 2-year institution, so in 2 years they can do that.
And high school environment would be very different. If a high school is teaching IT essentials or even the new CCNA 1, it would probably take a whole year to teach that out. So,
right, I'll talk about that.
Sure.
Does the school pay for this?
We donate our curriculum to any community-based organization or nonprofit institutions. If you're a for-profit, like a career college, there's a charge for the curriculum. The only other investment would be a support fee to a training center, the cost to get an instructor trained, which is about $600 to $800 per course, and then if you were teaching the CCNA courses or the advanced courses, there would be an investment in that classroom lab bundle I talked about, and that's about $6,000 if you're buying it brand new. That's ballpark, but you can certainly get donated equipment and use some legacy equipment that's been regression tested. And we can talk more with you about that offline if you're.
Yeah, your support center that Karen and I work for would be there to help you with those plans, decisions, and processes.
Okay. Can I move on, or is there anything else? Okay, pull me over when we're done, because I packed a lot more content in here probably than we're going to have time for. And I want Richard to get to this. So, this just reiterates how each of the curricula, so the combined courses that make up the curriculum, align with an industry certification. And this is kind of a lead into the employment piece, because the industry certification is going to validate your skills versus your peers and give you a better shot at the job market. I just talked about that, higher salaries. Just kind of reiterating how as your skills go up and you increase your certification and you increase your personal learning, your salary is going to match all of that. And we talked about earlier the opportunities in IT right now and how there's not enough employees to go around, basically. Good employees. Okay, so what the second half of this is about, if you guys that didn't know much about the program coming in here feel like you have some sense of the fundamentals, and certainly get my card before I leave, and I can certainly meet with you on the phone or later at the conference. But right now I wanted to kind of talk more about the workforce piece. What are we doing to help support students that are in the academy that maybe don't have the hands-on experience, or they have a little bit and they want an internship, they want to differentiate themselves, all that great stuff that the guy from Robert Half talked about this morning. So again, more benefits of being part of the program. Besides providing technology skills, we're also providing critical thinking, entrepreneurial skills, to kind of make the student more well-rounded and ready for the workforce. So as we look at CSR is what I'm part of, corporate social responsibility. The Cisco Networking Academy lives within Cisco Corporate Affairs. And if we look at the different employment initiatives, what I want to concentrate on is PICT. And so you have to kind of put yourself in a Cisco partner mindset, because we're actually out trying to recruit Cisco partners to be able to engage with academies and give those students the opportunities they're looking for. But we're also doing some other cool things with students outside the classroom, where I'll kind of start that discussion and I'll let Richard finish it up. So annually, it's become online now. We have what's called the NetWriters Skills Challenge, and it's an online competition, and we do it twice a year. We do it for post-secondary students, so community college, four-year college. I guess some of the military would fit in there, like the guys from 29 Palms, conceivably. And then we also do it for K-12 for high school students. It's online. Students used to prepare in teams. They do it individually now. They do have to have their instructor set things up for the students that want to participate in the classroom. But it's getting a good recognition, particularly for high school students. It's getting, if they do well in their state and they go on to the national competition, it's giving them something to put on their resume and differentiate themselves. And again, it's online. I think it's still hosted on Google. We use a lot of technology to deliver it, and we even wrap it up after the national finals with a Cisco exec live on WebEx using video, talking to the students and thanking them for their time. So it's not pretty well organized.
Well, and they learn, and they use the skills that they've learned in the classes that they've taken in Cisco classes. It's the way to apply them. That's the best thing.
When you say that, writers is an example of developing grits.
An example of developing?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. I'm sure it is. We have, besides doing skills, besides the Net Writers, which is a Cisco Academy competition, we're also involved at the national and global level with Skills USA, World Skills, and Skills Canada. In my Western 13 states, we could be doing a much better job with Skills USA, but at World Skills, we've got a pretty good presence and pretty good sponsorship. Same thing with Skills Canada. And so we are involved with the internet networking competition, and then I'm trying to remember what the PC services is called for the A+. So we have both levels of competition in these areas. But again, it's giving students that chance to compete, work in teams, and well, I guess a team, since they're going as a team, they're competing individually, but a chance to get involved and showcase the skills that they've learned. The Dream Team, this is new. We started this about 3 years ago. This is, students have to be over 21, they have to be adults, and what happens is, we're fine-tuning it. We ask instructors to nominate students, and we pick 10 students nationally, and they're invited to go back to the Cisco Live event. Are you guys familiar with Cisco Live? It's our big national or annual trade show, if you will, or conference for anybody involved with Cisco networking, for corporations and enterprise accounts, and probably academia as well. But these 10 students get to work with Cisco engineers and help set up the Network Operations Center, and get all this hands-on experience for like 7-8 days leading into the actual convention, and then they're there to also help out and tear down. And then usually besides those 10 students that come from around the country, we find students from local academies that also want to help out. And so it's getting some recognition. And we usually have 2 instructors that are involved. And the reason we have 2 is we have one that's leading the students, and we have an instructor following that instructor, kind of shadowing them, because they'll take over the next year and lead the next year's students. And so it's kind of developing, but again, what a great thing for those 10 students to put on their resumes and showcase their experience and get that experience outside the classroom. And Cisco funds all their travel and takes care of all that. And just kind of some of the details around it. Again, social networking is huge. You can see where we're involved. There's also, if you haven't been out on YouTube and put in a search for Networking Academy, there's a lot of great stuff out there. You can see, you know, videos that have been produced by Cisco, by academies. I've got a new instructor that came from Wyoming to Central Oregon Community College, Dan Bjerke. And if you've seen Dan's pages, really innovative ways of helping to teach the academy program. Okay, how am I doing for time, Karen?
Well, depending on how much Richard had, it's almost 11 o'clock now, and you have till 11:20.
Oh, so we're in good shape. This was the PACT initiative, and I'll put in a video and kind of summarize it. But again, you kind of put on your partner hat and imagine that you're a Cisco partner out there selling technology to companies, and then thinking about what are my employment needs. If I partner with Cisco Academies to find talent, or what can I do with those students? That's kind of what this is all about. And so it's a differentiator for them because besides business impact, they're also making social impact by creating new jobs for the community and doing some other things. Let's see if I can just go from this.
Ah, the good old days. When you had an open IT position, you made people aware of it, but candidates were applying, and you picked the best person for the job. But today, it's harder than ever to find the quality and quantity of talent needed to keep pace with your growing business needs. What if you could tap into a pool of thousands of talented IT candidates ready to work for your company? Candidates trained on Cisco technology, many with industry certifications. This isn't a pipe dream. It's a customized workforce pipeline. It's Cisco PACT, a higher opportunity. A bridge connecting Cisco partners like you with schools teaching Cisco Networking Academy IT curricula. And a pipeline of qualified talent that has a global network of 1 million students currently learning IT skills. And we're not talking about just theoretical learning. Cisco Networking Academy courses enable motivated students to learn and practice their IT skills by actually working hands-on with technology. Just as important, Cisco Academy students learn how to thrive in today's corporate culture, working in teams, excelling under pressure, and maximizing available resources. So, with Cisco PACT, you now have what most of your competitors don't: a connection to a growing pool of technology talent that can help your business right now and into the future. And there's more than just the bottom line. Cisco PACT is also a great way to give back by helping students and communities flourish. So how do you put Cisco PACT to work for you? Simple. Connect with one or more schools teaching networking academy courses in your area. You can engage as much or as little as you like. The more you put in, the more you get. So what are you waiting for? Discover the impact you can make by including Cisco PACT in your talent acquisition strategy. With Cisco PACT, a higher opportunity. Make your PACT. Get started today by going to www.cisco.com/go/PACT.
John, we have a question. One of our online attendees has asked, I need to know my local PACT team. Can you help us get there? How would they find a local PACT team? Should they just go to the link that was provided?
No, I need to finish this discussion, and that is PACT just rolled out in the Northeast in pilot program in Maurice Wickert's area, probably what's still going on. I would say they're kind of at the apex right now of getting everything defined and rolling out. We will begin our efforts out here probably in the springtime. And so this, again, this is partner driven, so Cisco's job is to build awareness with the partner community, with large partners, regional partners, resellers that provide the solutions, and get them signed up and interested. And then it'll be my job to help connect those interested partners with the academies in their area to help develop a defined program. So the answer is it's not here yet, it's coming. Any other questions? Does that seem like a logical next step in terms of our engagement with students? We're giving them great skills. The opportunities out in the workforce are better than they've been in a long time, particularly as it relates to computer networking. Thoughts or comments about what you just saw? Are we going directionally? Are we headed the right way?
Like I said, it's long overdue, I think, is we try to make that connection between the schools and employers.
Is the PACT going to apply to both college academies and high school academies?
I would think it would have more relevance probably with the community college academies, simply because there's a higher level of experience there, but it certainly could. I mean, it's open, I guess, is the answer, but personally I would see more engagement at post-secondary level. I'm not going to review a lot of this stuff other than some of the highlights that you saw in that video. 90% of our partners plan to hire over the next year. I mean, so again, you saw it in the Robert Half presentation of what the opportunities are. Again, you kind of have to put on your partner hat to listen to that video and understand that we're going to be connecting the partners with the academies to try to fill some of those talent voids. And do things like internships, job shadowing, you know, speaking to students in the classroom. There's other things besides entry-level jobs that these partners can do to help the students. This is what the Networking Academy provides in terms of the technology skills. Again, it's a partnership between Cisco partners and the academies, and then the array of types of engagements that partners can get involved with the academies directly. And again, social benefits and business benefits to the Cisco partners. And I'm going to just close with, okay, what it is again, it's led by the channel partners, so we've got to build awareness with them. We've got to get them interested and get them connected with the academies. It's a long-term engagement, and again, it's a business differentiator for the partners. What it is not, it's not a resume pool, it's not a job portal, it's a long-term engagement. And with that, okay, and then in terms of a timeline, you can see the kind of fiscal year 14 with the focus pilots, and then a broader launch towards the end of the fiscal year, probably in the May, June, July timeframe. I'll certainly keep my community posted through the Academy Support Center and through the key academies. And with that, Richard, I think we'll go ahead and hand it over to you. Okay, we're going forward, John.
Yeah, I'm just reflecting when John was talking about the Cisco Academy program. I've been involved with this since the very beginning. I got my Cisco training as an instructor in 1997, which was the rollout year. So 16 years almost being involved with a program that has been successful for me and for my students at my school. And I was thinking about MPICT too. And when we first started the MPICT group here, I was one of the initial partner schools, and each of the other partners were colleagues like me that were at their various schools at Cabrillo College and City College, Pierre and Michael McKeever at Santa Rosa College. We were all Cisco Network Academy teachers, so it connected us together. It's been a tremendous program to be involved in. So I'm here to represent the Support Center. I'm not a Cisco employee. I'm a California public school teacher at Ohlone College in the East Bay. And I'm here with Karen Stanton, and we together help hold together the Support Center for the academies in California, Nevada, and Arizona. So we've taken on that role. And we try to get the word out on initiatives. So one of the interesting programs here that we're involved with Cisco folks at Hartnell College, and then also at CSU Monterey Bay and Cabrillo College is an internship program. So it's a way to connect people together. It fits with grant programs. It fits with four-year school programs. And the CSU MD folks are here presenting as well. So we were talking about ICT pathways, and I've kind of gotten a lot of mileage out of this flow chart that I've used for many years because I was interested in my local schools to develop a pathway. I'm at the community college. I needed to build enrollment from the high schools that were local to us, and so I put a lot of effort. But I realized that it really had to start early on. That we had to start in middle school. So we begin our pathway in middle school by reaching out to the middle school kids that are local to us, and then help them work through high school. And the Cisco Academy program has been an extremely important part of this pathway, connecting students together. So I wanted to talk a little bit about some of those things. First and foremost, articulation. So I'm at Ohlone College, where I want students to come up and matriculate from our high schools. And we did that by providing them a pathway early on with a 9th grade class that's a concurrent enrollment class. So for those of you that are familiar with the college system, they get high school credit and college credit at the same time. And it's the 101 course, which is our computer literacy course at the college. So it's the first business computer course that they take, which many students who are into IT, that know networking, that know systems, that's an easy course for them to take at the college. I mean, they know all that stuff already. So they can actually do that in the 9th grade. And then the IT Essentials is the Cisco Academy course. And then, so that's 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. They can get up to 15 units of college credit. And the 2 CCNA courses that John talked about earlier that lead to that CSENT certification are actually, well, they were candidates for A to G credit. So if you're, it's just kind of a California focus. If you're familiar with California, in order to get college credit for courses, they have to be blessed by the UC system as a college preparatory course. So we've been trying to get that designation for quite some time, and just recently attained it. So
it's the elective or core?
It's the elective. It's the elective. Yeah. We have it for our Internet Engineering 1 course approved, and we're writing up the second course, Internet Engineering 2, as well. We hope to have that by the end of the school year.
Yeah, our instructor working group that made the application decided we needed to remove the Cisco vendor name and make it more, I guess, generic and also add some additional academics into the.
Which, ironically, if you took out the Cisco name from the curriculum, you wouldn't take out anything. Still a very sort of fundamental curriculum that isn't proprietary in any way. Yeah.
So if we're at Ohlone Community College and we do have these courses, how would we go about getting this designation for our?
Well, this designation only works for the high schools, right? So what you'll have to do is still build the articulations, just in the old-fashioned way. With
A to G, yours is coming as an A to G for the UC.
That's right.
At the high school level.
At the high school level.
Yeah. So
yeah.
The problem in California now is the add electives like our course in California, if it's not college transferable, chances are they can't add it. So we finally broke through the barrier and got that first one.
Yeah, so the problem for us is getting kids through this pathway and having enough hours in the day of their high school career to fit these courses in. Because they have to take so much math, so much science, all the, you know, my kids were in high school too, and they were college prep. They were all going to go to UC when I started them out in school. But so every parent thinks that way. So in order to let them fit these courses in the schedule, we needed to get that credit, and we were successful in doing it. It's actually listed as an ROP course, so you can go on the UC Doorways system. You can find the Internet Engineering course with ROP. So any ROP program in California can now teach that course. That's A2 credit. That's one of the biggest initiatives. I've been 15 years on that process. Another initiative that we got involved with was having an impact on the CTE program. So California just released their new model curriculum standards for CTE, the 15 different industry sectors. So those were just released. And in one of the pathways, in fact, I think MPICT had some influence there. We ended up calling it Information and Communication Technologies. We changed the name of the IT career pathway to Information Communication Technologies sector. And in that sector, there are 4 different pathways within IT, and 2 of them, the Information Support and Services and the networking, fit very closely with the Cisco Academy curriculum. In fact, that ICT Support and Services pathway, the IT Essentials course, the A+ CompTIA course, fits perfectly for that pathway. And in the networking, both the CCNA 1 and CCNA 2, that's the A to G course, the Internet Engineering course, fits in that sector pathway as well. So
what's also interesting too, is you look at that both nationally and internationally, both of those pathways are aligned with the skills competitions.
Oh yeah, exactly.
The internet networking and the PC services.
Exactly. So again, I said I've been involved with 16 years. I've been a teacher for a lot longer than that. I've been 30 years as a teacher, a computer teacher for most of my life. I've been waiting a long time for this to happen, to make that connection between high school and college, and what's college prep and what's appropriately rigorous. And I've always known, teaching and learning these courses, that they were tough courses. So this has been a big improvement too. And then on the other end, on our pathway from community college to four-year institution, we ran into some ceilings there too in blocks. So many of our courses, industry certification courses, didn't really transfer. And I got involved with a group, and some of you may have been involved in early days of developing transfer model curriculum. So there was an initiative in the state of California to reduce the amount of time it takes for students to get through the public school system, to try to do it in 4 years instead of 6 years. And they wanted community colleges to work with four-year institutions to develop a 60 units at the community college, 60 units at the four-year school to get through in 4 years and to be guaranteed. So I got involved in developing a model curriculum for ICT, and we found there was really nothing to transfer to. Four-year institutions really only had maybe one programming course and the business literacy course, computer literacy course to transfer to. So we've actually put together a model curriculum. We're actually presenting on this afternoon in one of the sessions. It's out for vetting. Again, this is again California-centric, but we're looking at preparatory courses that would serve as a major for students who want to eventually, hopefully, transfer their four-year institution to a four-year degree. And of this model curriculum, two of the courses that are part of the core, right, that we think anybody in ICT should have some networking fundamentals, should know information communication technology, those two courses map directly to the Cisco Academy curriculum as well. So it's another opportunity to match that. And then locally, again, I know that there needs to be bridging activities. You have to have some kind of event or some kind of activity outside the classroom that builds connections. So on the local level, and Cisco has competitions, and there are many national competitions, but for a lot of local kids, they can't compete in those. They can't travel. They have to stay home. And so we've done things with them locally. So we have a middle school camp every summer, and we bring the middle school age kids onto campus, and they go into our tech labs. They learn ICT skills. That's a week-long camp. That was funded through a grant, but now it's fee-based. And we have parents who will drop their kids off for a week to pay for the camp. We keep the cost low. We teach it ourselves. It's during our summer session, so they come on the college campus when there are no students there. And it's been a yearly tradition. And we find that at the middle school, we get almost 37% of the students are female. We see a lot of reduction of that in high school and college in the IT classes, but early on there's quite a bit of participation. And competitions are great. We have a local competition with our high school students that come in and compete annually. It's an academy competition. So they're competing and using the skills they learned as a IT Essentials course, and then also in the CCNA course. Yeah.
One competition that is getting greater Cisco involved in is Cyber Patriot.
Right.
I don't know if you're familiar with it, but I think John, could you just for a minute talk about where you're going with Cisco and Cyber Patriot?
Yeah, so Cyber Patriot from Cisco's perspective right now has participation in some core parts of the country where there are centers of excellence, and particularly in California, but I'm in the Southern California area with strong alignment to LA Unified School District, because that district is a center of excellence, and quite frankly has a huge number of teams from both the high school and from the middle school. And middle school is really where we want to reach out to schools and make those kinds of career decisions, or parents kind of pushing in one direction or the other. But to Dan's comments, I'm still trying to figure out everything besides, Cisco Engineering has been mentoring some of these coaches and their teams in their spare time, because we're big on giving back to the community and doing that so many hours during the year. But beyond that, one thing that I've noticed after engaging with Dan and Cal Poly Pomona and Cyber Patriots is that those teams that go into the competitions and the national competitions for Cyber Patriots, who have the computer networking skills besides the basic IT or help desk kinds of skills, are very successful in competitions. And so within LAUSD, I've been banging my head against the wall trying to figure out how do we make more of those coaches into academy instructors so that they can provide those skills to their students. And the challenge has been is that not all coaches work for LAUSD. They come from outside, and they may or not be there for 2 or 3 years. And so it's kind of like how do you find the right coach? But there's a strong correlation between competition success in the security competitions with students that have the networking skills versus those who don't.
Yeah, the Cisco Academy could be a solution to teach you some of those networking skills.
I think there's a real opportunity in Northern Cal to start developing that.
I agree. Just a minute left. The last thing I do is I have a summer boot camp. Students, when they're in high school, going through the curriculum, are not typically as focused on the certification, and not only the instructor is not always either the high school teacher. So we run a summer boot camp. It's either 2 to 4 weeks where we prep the kids for the actual certification exam. And this last session, I didn't do it last summer. Unfortunately, I was not able to do it. But previous summer, I had 12 out of 14 of the high school students pass their CSAT, and 3 out of 3 passed CCNA during that summer boot camp. So these cadets, I mean, they're driven. They each get a T-shirt. They're working together. We didn't have any female students this particular summer, but I've had them in the past.
No, but those pass rates are phenomenal because I think the industry standard for CCNA is like 40 or 45% the first pass on the first take, and so it's incredible.
Yeah. And lastly, as part of the Western Academy Support and Training Center, I take this opportunity to remind you to keep these dates open. If you're here in California and you're interested in attending Academy Conference, we're looking at having it hosted in Southern California at the Cal Poly Pomona campus. That's the Center of Information Assurance. The Cyber Patriot program is there. And so keep those dates open, June 18th to the 20th. We hope to have a good 2 days filled with sessions and a lot of fun. I've gone every year. Yeah.
And if you want new instructors trained to open an academy, the 3 days leading into this are the new instructor training. So keep that in mind as well.
Yeah, and just get in touch with either Richard or myself. John would direct you to us as far as instructor training and things like that, and if you're interested in looking at an academy. But we need to close. I'm going to be a Nazi here.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
Okay.